i8. This is arguably the most anticipated offering from BMW since its debut in Frankfurt in 2009. A design which really presents itself more so as an exercise in human ingenuity than the most desired plug-in sports car in the world. Not including obviously the hypercars 918 P1 LaFerrari, which are the only other cars that offer this combination of energies to provide a sports car experience. I mean, this is really a design for the future. The overall design itself with BMW's layering principles exposes new opportunities for designers to shape a car silhouette. For example, this is the first time we see disconnected floating body panels, which are just one piece of a total set of aerodynamic elements, all of which are inspired by nature and inspired directly by the shape of a droplet of water. This is just magnificent to see in person. And I mean, this car is chock full of very clever design solutions everywhere from form to function. And it's really fascinating to see the level of detail in focused areas like the headlights. This is presented with an LED headlight setup, but as we understand it, in Europe you can actually order a laser headlight option. We like the fact that when the turn signal is operating, the daytime LED accent lamps remain on. In some other cars, you'll notice that the daytime LEDs turn off so that the turn signal, so you can see the difference. But in this car, everything remains on, which is fantastic. To give you an idea of just how efficient this car is, the drag coefficient is just 0.26. So following this efficient thought process, the i8 is equipped with hinged scissor doors, which are actually very useful in practice. They're very easy to open, very easy to close, and the large openings make entering and exiting the vehicle as comfortable as one would imagine a BMW to be. One element we see throughout the i8 are the eye-inspired blue accent rings and finishes. This car has it below the door sill, but it's on the kidney grills and some logos throughout, and you'll see this echoed in the interior as well. The wheels on this example are 20-inch light alloys, and the trim level is Terra World. The wheels are intelligently designed to reduce some of the drag generally found in the wheel wells. So there's 4 trim levels you can choose from in the i8. There's Mega World, Giga World, Terra World, as you see it here, which comes with gorgeous brown leather interior, and the top trim would be Pure Impulse World. So power to the front wheels comes from an electric motor with a 2-speed transmission, and power to the rear wheels is from a 3-cylinder turbocharged gas motor mated to an automatic 6-speed transmission. So the total power, you get 357 horsepower, total torque 420 foot-pounds. And the sound of the gas motor is pretty aggressive for a 3-cylinder, but when you're inside with the augmented sound in the cockpit, that's really when it truly comes to life. So it's interesting to note that the carbon fiber in this car does not look like the traditional carbon fiber you would come to expect. It doesn't have that traditional weave everyone is familiar with when they think about carbon fiber. Because of a new manufacturing process, BMW's managed to actually reduce the cost of mass producing carbon fiber. And as an added interesting note, the carbon fiber material used in the i8 is made in the USA at a facility which only uses hydropower. So other than all these fantastic features and facts, we're going to go through the interior in detail. Being a new generation BMW, you have the latest touchpad iDrive controller, and the software has additional settings for the efficiency of the electric drive in this i8, and I would imagine all i cars. But we'll drive the car, we'll see what all the drive modes feel like, and we'll see if it lives up to all the anticipation. Before we proceed, we want to take a moment to thank Global Motor Cars of Houston. They have a wide range of inventory they've opened up to us to provide you these reviews. They have newer cars, certified cars, exotic cars, custom cars, classic cars, luxury cars, daily drivers, SUVs. So they have a wide range that can cater to a lot of customers' needs. If you're interested in purchasing a vehicle, or you find any vehicle in our reviews interesting, we ask you contact them at globalmotorcars.com. Here's the new key, flat, very new style design. It strays itself away from the other current BMW keys, which is fantastic. You have metal finishes around that echo the same details inside and out, and we'll look at some of those things that carry through. You have your unlocked lock, your back trunk, which is also where the engine is, but this will give you access to the trunk, and in case you need to locate the car, or your emergency siren here. You do have a valet key that slides out, and that valet key also, in the case of an emergency or no batteries, can slide in here and unlock the door. But generally it is a keyless start system, but what we'll do is push unlock, and open the door. Gorgeous scissor doors. So everything is aerodynamically efficient. Of course, weight savings in mind everywhere. Ultra stiff while saving weight. So you have carbon fiber in the door panel, carbon fiber beams with aluminum panels. So the structure in the door is actually carbon. The life module, which sits on top of the drive module, is carbon, the drive module being mostly aluminum. But you get these fantastic exposed carbon lines in the door panel, in the door entryway where you get in, and right here over the sill. And all of it is really fantastically rigid. I mean, when you push on it, it's ultra stiff and it looks gorgeous. These lines almost looks like textile. So the sill does sit pretty high, so you actually get in as if it's like a tub type setup, but they refer to it as the life module. So you get in and pull the handle and shut the door. Again, it is a keyless operated starting system. So once you're inside, you just push start. And of course, because it's an electric car, it starts automatically in comfort mode. We're gonna go through some of the modes with you. There's 4 drive modes, but by default, it starts in comfort mode. So you don't get an engine sound on startup. You just get sort of a futuristic whine, electric whistle, so to speak. So following the sort of draped teardrop look of everything in this car, you get the same thing in the mirror, a sort of teardrop sweep up. And through the rear view mirror, you get a good shot of that air channel back there that's made from the body panels. Gorgeous vents, panels, curtains, air to sort of direct the air all over this car. And that sort of futuristic look echoes in the interior with the lines that you see here, of course, with the blue stitching and the blue lines and the details, the blue ring around the BMW. This car is finished in like a dark metallic gray over this gorgeous a brown sort of finish. And the leather in it, consider that most efficient cars, everything inside is eco-friendly material, which is eco-friendly material in this car as well. But they have a sort of hippie-like sensation to them. Even in the Tesla, the seats feel sort of light, sort of. A good way to describe them is like a hippie material. Everything is sort of eco-friendly, and you sense it. In this car, you don't. While it is eco-friendly, you don't get that at all. So the joints of the door panel and some other locations above the AC and in the other door panel, there's gorgeous LED lighting to give the cabin a very nice ambiance at night. You do have your door open switch here and your lock and unlock switch right here. Very, very comfortable, very ergonomic to your thumb and your hand. You have your fuel door, which opens up your gas fuel door on the right passenger side rear. You have your mirror functions, your driver window and your passenger window, and the same trunk button that's on the key is here on the door handle, or your armrest. So everything again has that feeling of like a very nice 7 Series leather. So you don't feel like, okay, I'm inside of an eco-friendly car. Obviously the quietness gives you that sensation, and the overall feeling of the car gives you the sensation of a futuristic eco-friendly car, but the interior feels as luxurious as you would anticipate a brand new $130,000 BMW would. So we'll go through some of the drive modes and we'll talk about this instrument cluster. Moving over here to the left, you have your AC vents, which are manually operated with a little tab, centrally located tab. And everything feels really quality. Everything feels really tangible to the touch. So nothing is loose. Everything has a really quality, heavy sensation to it. You have your light switch, your automatic off, your daytime running lamps and full on, and your interior cabin lighting. So you do have some information here at the bottom left that can be cycled through with this BC button. So as I push this BC button, this cycles through. And of course you have your turn signals here on this stock. Functioning your turn signal is pretty easy. Everything is just like other BMWs. So if you're a BMW fan or you have other BMW cars, getting into this car would be really easy to function and start driving right away. You have your cruise control settings here on the left hand side of the steering wheel. And this car is equipped with this, it automatically knows the speed limit where you are, and it'll give you a visual signal of the speed limit here. And there's a visual speed, I'm not sure if it shows on the camera, but there's a visual signal of the speed limit in my windscreen with the heads up display, full color heads up display. You have steering wheel mounted shift paddles, minus and plus. So being that they're steering wheel mounted, they do move with the steering wheel. So if you turn to the left, you now have your switched positions, pluses on the left. You have all of your functions for your radio, your voice command, your phone here on the right, traditional to BMW. Everything else here in the center stack is also traditional to BMW. You have your screen here protruding out of the center with your iDrive controls, which we'll go through. You have your hazard button, your frontal collision, your collision warning systems here within this. You have your memory buttons here. They have that soft touch memory assignments, so you can, as my finger slides across, you can see that it's moving, but it's not activating anything until I give it a full press. And you can program everything from addresses, phone numbers, and all kinds of things into the favorites of these buttons up here. Down below those buttons, you have your comfort and temperature for the cabin, your seat warmer, your rear defroster, your temperature for your driver and your passenger, and they can be synced or unsynced. And everything that has to do with the climate controls easily functioned right here. Moving down from that, you have a gorgeous little LED detail around the start button. One of the driving modes that's available in this car is the eDrive. So when you push eDrive, you get, right now the battery isn't charged enough to get full eDrive, but pushing that, you can see that it pulls up the menu saying that you can go up to a certain distance on just electric power, assuming you had enough battery juice. I think on all electric power this can go up to 20 miles or so and up to 75 miles an hour. You have your traction control system, which is integrated into the electric motor mounted on the front axle, and the fuel motor, mid-mounted rear fuel motor that's driving the rear wheels. So the gas portion is a rear wheel drive, the electric portion front wheel drive, total all-wheel drive basically when they're going together. You have your comfort, your Eco Pro. By default, car starts in comfort, and when you're in drive you can shift this to the left to get this car into sport. Getting into sport, of course, is full performance, getting all the power from the front motor, the electric motor, and all the power from the gas motor for a full performance sporty driving experience. You have your camera button and your rear parking sensor control. Off to the left here you have electronically activated, deactivated parking brake, and the transmission stock itself is traditional to other BMW cars of this model year. Moving back from that, you have a little